Welcome to Relationships as Spiritual Practice, Bridging the Secular and Spiritual, with your host, Alia Lochardet, founder of Mindful Compassionate Dialogue and Wise Heart PDX.
Thank you for being here again today. Appreciate it. Appreciate your presence. Today, I would like to bring this title, Differentiation and Joining as Energy for Change. In our last podcast entitled, How Do We Dismantle Without Opposing or Going Against? We made key distinctions between opposing and dismantling. And today I'd like to go one step further and explore healthy differentiation as distinct from opposition, and particularly how healthy differentiation is important for sustainable social change. Then I want to touch on joining and just weave it in as I go through the key points on healthy differentiation in this context. In another podcast entitled Beyond Codependency, 3 Signs of Healthy Differentiation, I briefly describe and define healthy differentiation within the context of personal relationships. So if you want more of that kind of thing, you can go there. So let me start with 3 signs of healthy differentiation as you engage in social change, as I see it anyway. So one sign of healthy differentiation in social change movements could be that you have a sense of groundedness and security in your own goodness and worth, irrespective of perceived successes or failures in your life or in that particular social change movement. So a consistent sense of groundedness and security speaks to me of healthy differentiation in social change. Number 2, you are nourished by a hope and vision of life-serving change, and you consistently welcome challenges to your views so that you might keep seeing a new creative way forward. So again, healthy differentiation means that hope and vision for positive change, for life-serving change. And then number 3, this one might sound a little strange, but I really believe it's true, that you have an acceptance, or at least a level of acceptance, of your own death and the death of our planet, the death of a particular species, the death in general. So let's take a closer look at each one of these, and then we'll weave in joining as we go. Okay, groundedness and security in your own worth and goodness. So the first thing I want to offer here is that as you gain security and groundedness in life-serving beliefs and values, you will less often experience that railing against suffering, that energy of opposition. The more grounded and secure you are, or the more you access groundedness and security, the less relevant it seems or is to oppose what's happening. Okay. Hopefully that's landing. Let me go to the next point. So the reverse is also true, right? The more unstable your own sense of worth and goodness is, the more forms of threat you will perceive, and the more you will be lost in defending, proving, and fighting for your views. Sound familiar? Does that sound a little bit like political landscape? Political landscape's more complicated than that, but it's not unusual to see that kind of panicky and ferocious fighting for a view, which I'm not very impressed by. So, a couple things to watch for here are that when someone is fighting for a view, they might make a rational argument. They might sound logical. They might corroborate their view with facts. And even with all that, it may be difficult to perceive whether they're grounded in their security or they have that instability. When that instability is present, there is this attachment to my view. And it is a contracted, reactive state of being and thinking, which sometimes is only apparent when there's a major challenge to that view or to that person. So, just in summary, then, fixating and fighting for your views arises from fear, insecurity, and fear. And that fear blocks compassion and it blocks discerning wisdom, the capacity to see what's possible, to have create new solutions. So I also here want to highlight a difference between helping someone understand your view and defending your view. Sometimes only the speaker will know, right? If you're helping someone to understand your view, 1 second you might be defending your view, and in the next second you're truly just seeking understanding also, right? Can go back and forth quickly. We're looking for that difference. If you're trying to defend a view and you're fixated on it, there is an energy of contraction, a body state of contraction, and an energy of fighting or defending. If you're simply seeking understanding, there's a simplicity of inviting someone into your world to see if only for a moment they might understand how you're perceiving things, and to have that companionship. Whether they agree with you or not is far beside the point. Okay. So healthy differentiation then invites the co-creating of life-serving views and visions. It invites a willingness to join in collaboration, to invite people into a shared understanding, a co-creating, an ever-evolving understanding. This is the joining part. Joining requires that differentiation of groundedness and security. which allows openness to learning, to challenges, which opens the road to collaboration and evolution. Okay, let's look at the next piece. The second major sign of healthy differentiation within the context of social change is that you are nourished by a hope and vision of life-serving change that consistently welcomes challenges. For me, that's really key. A really key sign of healthy differentiation is that I can welcome a challenge. And that's because with healthy differentiation, you are able to set boundaries with yourself and others. In other words, you consistently choose where to put your attention and to put your attention on that which helps you maintain hope and inspiration. You understand what it takes to maintain your energy for social change, and you devote yourself accordingly. You also actively seek out that which helps you to think, feel, and organize your experience in new ways. You have the energy and the security to embrace challenging differences and new information. And you have the compassion to hold the hearts of those on all sides of an issue. This is joining with others for change. When you see that sign in someone's front yard that they're voting for this candidate or this issue, and it's not aligning with your view of what will create a better world for all, in which all living beings get to have their needs cared for, that impulse to label, judge, oppose can be pretty strong because there's pain there and there's grief there. And when you can take a breath and just imagine into the heart of the person that put that sign on their front lawn or whatever it is, then you're joining in your heart. You're saying, you have this view or this thought, that doesn't make you different from me. Just like me, you want to have your needs met, you want to feel secure and happy and know that you're loved. Okay. Ready for the next one? The last one, last point. Acceptance of your own death and the death of others, including our planet. Oh, it's a big one, right? Some might say that there's a lot of death phobia going around the globe. Death phobia triggers our nervous systems, triggers survival instincts, triggers fight or flight. We cannot access the compassion, the wisdom, the vision we need for social change from that state. So while you may not have vanquished your fear of death, if you cultivate some level of acceptance of your own death, you will become ever more available for being present here and now, honoring life as it is, and seeing more clearly what is in front of you, including what needs to be dismantled, including what beautiful resources and support are available. A significant fear of death predisposes us to reactivity, as I said. And when this is combined with something like the conditioning of capitalism, it is a very slippery slope to scarcity and survival of the individual. That will not be a new way forward for the better of all. Engaging in social change requires a vision much larger than your own individual life. Of course, also includes your individual life as a part of the whole. It invites us into a quality of being that is big enough to hold the sacredness of every living being, yourself included. So this last point of joining then is that we are joining with others in service to something greater than any individual. And this kind of joining, in my mind, is what's most deeply nourishing for our heart and our spirit. May you find what nourishes you, and may we find it together. Thank you so much for being here. Radiating love from my heart to yours.
You can learn more about Mindful Compassionate Dialogue and find free resources, live offerings, and self-paced workshops online at www.wiseheartpdx.org.